Listen closely, because the world is designed to make you weak. Most people live soft. They talk endlessly about their potential while they waste their precious days scrolling through digital feeds, chasing temporary likes, and numbing their minds with mindless distractions. They run from discomfort as if it were a curse, when in truth, struggle is the only key that unlocks the door to power. They trade mental clarity for constant noise, and they trade discipline for cheap dopamine hits. Then they look at their empty lives and ask why they feel so powerless. The harsh truth is this: the strongest version of you will never be born in the lap of luxury or the safety of comfort. It is forged in the biting cold of silence, in the weight of sacrifice, and in those brutal moments when you choose to act, not because it is easy, but because your future demands it. Stoic philosophy reminds us that the obstacle is not something to be escaped. The obstacle is the way. It is something to be faced fully, directly, and with your entire being. If you are done being ruled by weakness, and you are ready to reclaim your sovereignty, stay locked in. This is for the part of you that refuses to die quietly. The journey to building a life that echoes begins right here. Rule 1. Stop living like prey. Most people move through this world without ever realizing they are living like prey. You can see it in the little things. They apologize just for speaking. They shrink in rooms where they should be expanding. And they keep their opinions quiet so they don't ruffle feathers. Prey moves through life carefully, always calculating how not to be seen, how not to be a threat, and how not to take up space. But here is the hard reality. The world does not reward invisibility. It feeds on it. When you carry yourself like you are just trying to survive, the world senses the scent of uncertainty and responds accordingly. People will interrupt you more. They will question your value, and they will test your boundaries, not necessarily because they are evil, but because nature recognizes the scent of a victim. If you do not claim your space, someone else will take it from you. This is not a cruel rule. It is a law of survival. You are not meant to crawl through your existence hoping no one notices you. You are meant to move with presence. Presence does not mean being the loudest person in the room or being dramatic. It means being still, being rooted, and being fully there. It means walking into a room without the desperate need to be liked by everyone. It means you stop explaining who you are every 5 seconds because you already know. Confidence is quiet. It is power under control. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Authenticity doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from presence. Stop pretending weakness is some kind of spiritual badge of honor. Start moving like your presence matters, because it does. Your tone matters, your body language matters, and the way you carry your name matters. When you walk into a room, you are telling a silent story about your value. Is it a story of power or a story of passivity? If you don't like the answer, rewrite it, not by saying more, but by living more deliberately. Prey survives by playing by invisible rules. Don't speak too much. Don't want too much, don't take up too much space. But living is different. Living means moving toward the challenge, standing your ground even when your voice shakes, and saying, "This is who I am," without looking around for approval. This kind of life is reserved for the grounded. Being grounded means you no longer abandon yourself. It means you stop waiting for someone to hand you a permission slip to be whole. Give yourself the green light, stepping out of the costume and into your real skin is the only way to live a life that isn't a waste. Rule 2. Sharpen cold focus. Most people don't lose their lives in one grand tragedy. They lose them slowly, quietly, in the spaces between distractions. They lose them in 100 taps on a screen, a dozen meaningless conversations, and 1,000 thoughts that go absolutely nowhere. This happens because focus has been stolen. In a world designed to scatter your mind, the ability to concentrate has become a rare kind of power. Cold focus is the power to protect your energy and to say this matters and everything else does not. It is about knowing your mission so clearly that nothing else can compete with it. It is about choosing direction over stimulation. Most importantly, It is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need constant noise to feel alive. This focus comes from the quiet spaces most people avoid because silence makes them feel empty. But that emptiness is where clarity is born. It is where your real power starts to show. Every time you choose silence over scrolling, you reclaim a piece of your mind. Every time you protect your attention, you become harder to control. In a world that profits from your distraction, being hard to control is strength. Look at the average day. Most people live in reaction, responding to notifications rather than intentions. That reactionary life steals your edge. Cold focus is not emotional. It is not fueled by hype. It is fueled by clarity. Clarity comes from asking hard questions. What am I really building? Who am I becoming by doing this every day? What would my life look like if I just removed the noise? Every day you don't answer these questions. The world answers them for you with distractions that feel urgent but mean nothing. Build your environment to support your mind, not sabotage it. Don't keep apps that drain you. Don't keep people who pull you off course. And don't keep habits that reward short-term pleasure but destroy long-term peace. Focus is about saying no to everything that weakens your mission. When your daily choices match your deeper values, you stop feeling torn. You start moving like someone who knows where they are going. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Focus wakes you up from the dream of distraction. Choose one thing and give it everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, find your strength, and stay locked in. Rule 3. Rule over emotion. Emotions are powerful. They rise without warning like a wave or a fire, and they demand a response. You get a message that stings, and before your brain can catch up, your fingers are typing a reaction. You feel rejected, so you chase validation. You feel anxious, so you delay. In those quick reactions, you give away your power. Every time you let a fleeting emotion drive your behavior, you hand over the wheel. Ruling over your emotions does not mean you suppress them or pretend they don't exist. It means you acknowledge them without being owned by them. It means you give yourself space to feel without being hijacked. Strength isn't in pretending, it's in choosing with clarity. Not every feeling deserves a response. Some just need to pass through. Emotions are like weather, stormy or calm, but you don't rebuild your house every time it rains. You build strong walls and a solid roof. That is inner discipline. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Emotional mastery gives you the awareness to stop blaming the world for reactions you haven't mastered. Think about the last time you regretted something. It likely wasn't because you lacked logic, but because you let pride, fear, or shame take over. In that moment, your decision came from a wound, not wisdom. Once you learn to sit with an emotion and let it pass without acting, you start to move differently. You respond with intention instead of reacting with pain. You feel the anger, but you observe instead of yelling. You feel the fear, but you prepare instead of hiding. You feel the sadness, but you listen to what it's trying to teach you. This doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become clear. Emotions become tools, not chains. They ride in the back seat. They don't get to drive. This is Stoicism. Emotions are part of life, but they don't define your character. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Power lives in facing pain with calm and choosing strength moment by moment. When you can stay still while others spiral, you become someone others lean on. Presence is built in moments of restraint. Seneca wrote, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." Rule 4. Discipline is your weapon. Discipline is not loud. It doesn't shout for attention. Discipline is quiet, built in the dark, in the small choices no one sees. It is forged in the moments where you could let yourself off the hook, but you don't. Most people want the rewards of growth, without the weight of consistency. They want the strength, but not the sacrifice. Motivation is easy when the energy is high and the sun is out. But what about when it's cold? When you're tired? When nothing is pushing you but your own commitment? That is when the line between average and exceptional is drawn. Discipline doesn't care how you feel in the moment. It only cares about who you're becoming over time. Motivation is like the weather, nice when it's there, useless when it's not. If your growth depends on motivation, you'll stay stuck. Discipline means showing up on the ordinary, slow, and inconvenient days. It means treating your goals like non-negotiables instead of options. The workout you didn't want to do, the early morning you almost skipped. Those are the days that count the most. They shape the part of you that follows through when it's hard. Real power comes from habits, not hype. Waiting to feel ready lets you avoid responsibility. Discipline doesn't ask for the right moment. It creates it. It is what makes you sit down and do the work when your mind is pulling you in 100 directions. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build trust with yourself. That self-trust becomes a quiet kind of confidence. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Discipline is that mastery. It is the ability to steer your life instead of being tossed around by impulses and distractions. It's not one big heroic act. It's 1,000 small, invisible victories. Growth lives in the repetition, in the space between who you are and who you are becoming. You'll have to give up comfort and validation, but you get back a version of yourself that is unshakable. You stop being a prisoner of your moods. You become someone who can be counted on. Rest when necessary, but never worship your excuses. Build your foundation on showing up again and again. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." P1. Rule 5. Detach from what drains you. Most people don't realize how much weight they carry until they finally let go. They are exhausted not because they're doing too much, but because they're holding on to things that no longer serve them. People, habits, memories, beliefs. We convince ourselves it's normal to stay loyal to something just because it's familiar, even when it hurts. That isn't strength. It's fear dressed up as comfort, and it's the reason many stay stuck. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting things own you. You stop measuring your worth by the approval of others. There is nothing noble about sacrificing your peace to prove loyalty. Your loyalty should never come at the cost of your sanity. Detachment is about taking your power back from within. It's not just situations that drain you. It's your own attachments to who you think you're supposed to be, the perfection you chase, the fear of disappointing others. These are chains that blur your identity, but you can always cut the rope. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." That includes accepting that you've outgrown certain people and paths. Detachment isn't abandonment, it's clarity. It's refusing to let guilt tie you to things that dim your light. Sometimes you have to leave to be honest about who you are and what you need. There is courage in choosing discomfort now to protect your future peace. If you keep holding on to what's breaking you, you won't have the hands free to build what can grow you. Detachment isn't about others. It's about reclaiming your time, energy, and focus. Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Detachment allows you to stop dragging the past into every present moment. It is the freedom to walk away with grace. Release the version of you that tolerates more than it should. Choose peace and clarity as a declaration. You are not a storage unit for pain. Cut the rope, choose freedom, and step forward. Rule 6. Patience is savage. Patience has been misunderstood as passive waiting, but real patience, the kind that transforms you, is anything but passive. It is fierce and focused. It is the decision to pause when everything inside you wants to rush. It's holding your ground while others lunge because you know your time is coming. Most people live in a rush, speaking before they think and moving before they see clearly. They jump into things because they're afraid of missing their shot. But that's how people get blindsided. They hand over power by moving too fast and thinking too slow. Everything powerful in nature takes time. Trees don't grow overnight, and storms don't form in seconds. The most dangerous predators don't chase everything. They watch, they wait, and when they strike, it's with precision. Patience is calculation. It is knowing that timing is the difference between success and self-destruction. When you move too early, you show your hand. When you wait, you gain an edge. Reserve energy for what's important, rather than wasting it on what's urgent. Silence and stillness are your advantages. The person who can stay composed while others lose themselves wins the long game. Rushing invites mistakes and causes you to ignore red flags. Patience creates space to see people clearly and let the truth surface. Wisdom grows in that space. When you stop demanding instant results, you start building things that actually last. This isn't about lowering ambition, it's about raising your standard. While others chase moments, you create momentum. Restraint gives your actions meaning. You don't move impulsively, but when you do, it's effective. This presence makes you unforgettable because it's rare. The one who can wait and act with decision is unstoppable. Aristotle said, "Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet." Results will come exactly when you're ready, if you align actions with purpose. Patience transforms character and refines vision. Move at your own rhythm, choose stillness when right, and when the path aligns, move like you've been preparing your whole life. Rule 7, use silence like a blade. Most people are afraid of silence and rush to fill every quiet moment with words or noise. But as the world gets louder, silence becomes more valuable and powerful. The one who holds still and speaks only when necessary stands out, because they are intentional. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a weapon and a form of communication louder than noise. What if you paused longer and spoke less? People start leaning in. Mystery creates gravity and pulls attention without you demanding it. There is a difference between being silent because you are unsure and being silent because you are sure enough not to explain yourself. The second carries weight. Carl Jung said, "In the silence of listening, the soul finds the path." Silence gives you clarity. When you stop the noise, you hear your own thoughts and notice details, tone, tension, intention that others miss. Understanding the room better than everyone else gives you power. Silence protects you. It gives you time to choose your response instead of reacting emotionally. When you don't give the reaction others expect, they lose control and your silence becomes pressure on them. That discomfort is your advantage. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Silence is how you rise above without a word. Silence creates presence. Often it's the one who speaks least who holds the most weight because they don't speak unless it serves a purpose. Their silence is power held in reserve. This doesn't mean you never express yourself. It means when you do, it matters. Words carry more meaning because they aren't wasted. Silence used wisely is precision. It is choosing depth over noise. Stop the urge to over-explain. Choose stillness over noise and stay in control. Build respect without demand and power without noise. Rule 8. Command respect without asking. Respect isn't something you ask for or win with charm. It's built moment by moment through how you move and respond when no one is watching. People respect you when they see you live with principles and refuse to bend them for comfort. If you chase respect, you hand over the power that creates it. Real respect is built through consistency and quiet strength. It is built when your words match your behavior and when you don't. Tolerate being mistreated, even if it means walking away. It is built when you follow through on promises to yourself. How you treat yourself is the foundation for how others treat you. Carl Jung said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you." Lead with clarity and embody respect rather than demanding it. Commanding respect means enforcing consequences. Boundaries are suggestions if you don't follow through when they are crossed. Respect also comes from doing what others avoid and staying grounded when life is loud. When people see you don't crumble or chase attention, your presence becomes rare and respected. Stop explaining and start showing. The goal isn't to be feared. It's to be respected for clarity and refusal to bend for approval. Build it from the inside and live it on the outside. Speak less, hold your line, and be someone people know they can't shake. Build a legacy, not just a lifestyle. Lifestyle is temporary highs, but legacy is what speaks in your absence. It is stacking meaning, not just money. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity. Every choice ripples forward." Take ownership, lead yourself, and be the person who saves others through example. Legacy is written in behavior and action. Finally, kill the old you ruthlessly. Transformation starts when you let go of what no longer serves you. You cannot carry both the future you want and the excuses holding you back. Burn the bridge, lock the door, and never open it again. Walk forward clean and unapologetic. The only way to rise is to leave the weight behind. Become who you were always meant to be, deliberate, disciplined, and unstoppable.